Okay, good morning to all IT 101, Antipolo, QC, and North Manila. Okay, so to start off with our last lesson for prelim grading period, lesson number 3, this is the fundamentals of the World Wide Web and Internet. So the objectives of this lesson is to discuss, we're finished with that, no? So sa evolution ng ah, computer internet tayo ngayon, and then identify the briefly describe various broadband internet connections and state the differences between broadband internet connections and dial-up connections. Describe the types of internet access providers. Describe the purpose of an IP address and its relationship to a domain name. Explain the purpose of a web browser and identify the components of a web address. Describe how to use a search engine to search for information on the web and differentiate between a search engine and a subject directory. Describe the types of website. Explain how web page use graphics, animations, audio, video, virtual reality, and plugins. Identify and briefly describe the steps required for the web publishing. Describe the types of e-commerce. Explain how email, mailing lists, instant messaging, chat rooms, voice IP, news groups, and message boards, and FTP work. And identify the rules of netiquette. Actually, medyo marami, pero this is only a brief discussions of each goal. So let's start with the internet. So the internet is a worldwide collection of networks that links millions of businesses, government agencies, educational institutions, and individuals. So parang ito na yung ating needs ngayon, dahil tayo ay nasa pandemic era, all the transactions, government, businesses, education, they use internet to communicate. And the evolutions of that, so the internet originated as ARPANET in September 1969 and had two main goals. So ano ba yung ARPANET? The goal of this is to allow the scientists at different physical locations to share information and work together. So we all know, during that time, wala pang internet, so only the ARPANET have this technology for the scientists to share information. And another function is, or the goal, even it is a part of the network, were disabled or destroyed by a disasters. So here, in until now, when we are wanted to know what happened to the other countries, kung ano na nangyari nga, lalo na ngayong pandemic, so we can easily find out, using the internet. So during the ARPANET, ito kasi yung ginagamit na technology for them to know what happens to their information. And evolutions. 1969, ARPANET becomes functional because of the different information fed. And in 1984, ARPANET has more than 1,000 individual computers linked as a host. So sila lang po yung nakakagamit ng internet noon. In 1986, NSF connects NSFNet to ARPANET and becomes known as the internet. And in 1995, this NSFNet terminates its network on the internet and resumes status as a research network. And in 1996, Internet 2 is founded. So with the Internet 2, nagkaroon na po ng link or access yung ating yung lahat ng ating mga users ng computers. Today, more than 550 million hosts connect to the internet. So with that evolution, each organization is responsible only for maintaining its own network. nagkaroon na ng WWW or yung tinatawag na World Wide Web Consortium or W3C. So it oversees the research and set guidelines and standards para paggamit ng ating mga internet. To access the internet, meron silang sinet na guidelines. Mamaya makikita natin yan. So Internet 2 connects more than 200 universities and 115 companies via a high-speed private network. So during 90s. Pero ngayon, hindi lang po 200 universities all over the universe. Universe, no? Kasi meron na ring access yan sa ibang satellite, no? Katulad ng ginagamit sa moon nung sila ay nagpunta roon. So 115 companies, not only that, parang millions na of companies all over the world. And for this, many home and small businesses users connect to the internet via high-speed broadband internet service. So tayo medyo hindi pa maganda yung ating service provider, di ba? So ngayon nga medyo at least meron na tayong or padating na yata, ewan ko lang kung totoo yun na padating na raw yung ating or yung supply sa atin ng mas magandang broadband internet service. So tingnan natin yung ating evolutions, cable internet service. Then dati dial-up pa ang ginagamit. So kailangan meron kang telephone lines kasi more on telephone lines ang kabitan ng internet or ng access. And then nagkaroon na ng DSL, then fiber to the premises, and then fixed wireless, and then cellular radio network, and now the Wi-Fi, and then the satellite internet services. So depende kung ano yung locations mo, kung anong gagamitin nila dyan. Kasi kung ikaw ay nasa remote area, so kailangan dun satellite internet service, no? And then, ano ba yung access provider? An access provider is a business that provides individuals and organization access to the internet free or for a fee. Katulad ng ginagamit nyo ngayon, ewan ko lang kung nakadata kayo, so that is for a free. Pero minimal lang yung speed ng free data, di ba? Kasi ang access nyo lang is only text. Pero kung mga videos, kailangan magpa-ano pa kayo or bumili pa kayo na magpa-load kayo. And for a fee, so it's up to you if what internet service provider you want. Siyempre, mas mataas ang fee, mas maganda yung speed ng inyong mga internet service provider. So as you can see on the diagram, ayan yung diagram that shows the different connections of your internet. So access by catering to different internet service provider, you can access the internet. Ayan, so tinatawag nating ISP yung ating internet service provider. So meron tayong regional at meron tayong national. For our regional ISP, provide internet access to a specific geographical area. So katulad ng region natin, so ang region natin ay NCR. So ano ba yung malakas na ISP provider natin para sa ating regions? So sa ibang region, meron din sila. For national, so this national ISP provide internet access in cities and towns nationwide. So meron din tayong internet access for our cities and towns. Katulad dyan sa ibang cities, no, nagpo-provide sila ng free internet access. Pero yung iba, hindi, no? Pag nandun ka lang sa specific locations, halimbawa, nandun ka sa Quezon City Hall or Manila City Hall, pwede ka maka-access ng internet. Pero not all. So meron naman tayong tinatawag na OSP or the Online Service Provider. This has many members, only features. Popular OSP include yung ating America Online and MSN or Microsoft Networks. So this OSP is an international online service provider. And then for our wireless internet service provider, it provides wireless internet access to computers and mobile devices. It may require a wireless modem. Ngayon, kapag nagpa-connect ka, kasi tatanungin ka ng internet service provider kung ano ba ang gusto mo, kung wireless ba or DSL connections. So it's up to you kung ano yung gusto mo. Kung wireless, they are going to provide modem for you. So yung iba nagpapabayad, yung iba libre na. Kasama na yun sa package. Ayan, so how a home user's data and information might travel the internet using a cable modem connections. So meron tayo ditong up to step number 6. No? So step 1, you initiate an action to request data or information from the internet. For example, you request to display a web page on your computer screen. So after you request for that web page, a cable modem transfer the computer's digital signal to the cable television line in your house. And then, ipapasa yan, ibabato yan yung ng modem ninyo dun sa kanilang central cable system. So in their central cable system, for their step 4, kaya di ba kapag wala ka pang central cable system, wala pa kayong ganong klaseng ISP sa inyong bahay. No? Kapag wala pa, hindi pa kayo pwedeng magpa-subscribe sa ganon. So, dapat meron na silang cable or central cable system. Kasi yung cable system na yan ay nakakonect sa kanilang central cable system, yung pinakamalaki na kanilang fiber optic lines. Kaya sometimes hindi purely fiber ang kanilang connections, no? Dun from their unit up to the system or central cable, so maaaring naka-fiber yan. Pero pagdating sa bahay mo, hindi siya naka-fiber, hindi pa fully. And then after the centralized cable system sends your request over high-speed fiber optic lines, papasok ngayon yan sa server na kung saan yung inyong requested web. Kasi meron yung tinatawag na internet backbone to the destination server. So papasok yan sa server na kung saan mag-a-access ng web page na inyong nire-request. So in just a blink of an eye, or how the speed of your ISP, kung gaano kabilis yung speed ng inyong ISP, ganon kabilis yung access, yung pag-transfer or yung transform from step 1 to step 6 ng nire-request mong web page. Okay, so sa pag-access niyan, kasi pag nag-access ka ng internet web pages, so you are accessing an IP address. Kahit ikaw meron ka ring IP address. Once you are connected to the internet, meron kang sariling IP address. And what is an IP address? It is a number that uniquely identifies each computer or device connected to the internet. So meron siyang domain name. Domain name is the text versions of an IP address. So yung domain name na yan yung inyong kailangang words or a name that you want to access. Katulad ng example na ibinigay sa baba, www.google.com. So meron siyang equivalent IP address na 72.14.207.99. So ibig sabihin niyan, yung isa ay address, IP address, at yung isa ay domain name. Pero the same pa rin yung ina-access niyan. So a DNS server translate the domain name into its associated IP address. So tayo ay made of different numbers. Kaya lang, dahil hindi naman natin alam yan, kasi ang nakakaalam lang ng IP address ay yung mga technical users. So tayo ay simple users lang. Kaya kailangan malaman natin yung ating domain name na isa-search. And example of the generic top-level domains, ito po yung mga alam natin na mga domains. So meron tayong mga generic TLD or top-level domains and the intended purposes. So for aviation community members, pwede kayong makakonect dun sa .aero. And for the businesses of all sizes, pwede rin kayong sa .biz. And then, ito yung mga well-known TLD, katulad ng .com, .edu, .gov, .jobs, .net, .org. So, yan yung usually na sinesearch ninyo, di ba? At yung iba ay hindi nyo alam, andito yan sa list. Okay, and then for the different terms used in WW, like the World Wide Web or simply web, or yung iba tawag dyan, WWW. It consists of a worldwide collections of electronic documents. So ang tawag dun ay web pages. Kasi when you access a website, you will be given different web pages. So hindi lang natin alam kung ilang web pages bawat isang website. Okay, a website is a collection of related web pages and associated items. And a web server is a computer that delivers requested web pages to your computer. So meron pong mga web server, no, na pinapasok yan para makakuha ka ng website. And then Web 2.0 refers to website that provide a means for users to interact. So Web 2.0 is a programs, no, that it is a means for the user to interact. Kasi yan, bago kayo kumuha ng, pupunta muna kayo sa www na website, and then Web 2 will be talking to your website, at pag nasa website na kayo, mag-open lang kayo ng different pages. And then, okay, web browser or browser allows user to access web pages and Web 2.0 programs katulad ng Internet Explorer, Firefox, Opera, Safari, Google Chrome, Google, and so on and so forth. Pero ang well-known dyan na ginagamit ng marami, syempre kasi karamihan naman naka Microsoft, so Google Chrome, at kasi yung Microsoft ay Internet Explorer ang naka-automatic, no, web browser ng ating Microsoft. Pero nakaagad Internet Explorer. Pero I know hindi kayo masyadong bihasang gumamit ng Internet Explorer, kaya ang gagawin nyo, nag-Google Chrome pa rin kayo. So depende kung kayo naman ay Apple, so iba naman yung inyong ginagamit na web browser. And how a web browser display a homepage. Step 1, Step 2, Step 3, and 4. So yan yung ating mga steps on how a web browser displays a homepage. So syempre, ang unang-una dyan, you have to open your web browser, and then you have to type, no, a browser or a name for a site that you know, or mag-search na lang kayo. And then step 2, behind the scene, the web browser looks up its homepage settings. So ang unang-unang hahanapin yan kapag kayo ay nag-locate na ng website ay yung homepage. Kaya being an IT, gumagawa tayo niyan ng ating index file. So index file is the home page. Yun ang hahanapin ng ating web browser. And then pagka na-locate na yung home page, then it will be communicated and then displays, no? Kasi yung ating home page or yung mga website is made of different addresses, IP addresses. So yung IP addresses na yan, papasok na yan dun sa nire-request mong website. And then you are given a pages kung ano na yung laman ng iyong web page. And then what is a home page? A home page is the first page that the website displays. Web pages provide links to other related web pages, or tinatawag na surfing the web. And downloading is the process of receiving information. So web page is equivalent to index file. And then in order to link to that web pages and you want to view the other web pages, homepage muna at homepage na yung magbibigay sa inyo ng mga web pages. So pwede na kayong mag-download kung magda-download kayo. And then a web page has a unique address called a URL or a web address. So ang ating web addresses are made of protocol, domain name, path, web page name. Wherein your protocol is your HTTP, sometimes nagiging HTTPS kapag gusto nyo ng secure protocol. And then the domain name, kanina nabigay na natin yung functions ng domain name. Kasi yung domain name na yan, it will be converted to IP addresses. And then the path, wherein you want to go inside on a particular web page. And then the web page name. So ito na po yung HTML files or sometimes PHP files na atin pong ginagawa when we are going to create a web page programs. Kasi sa programming, papasok na dyan yung HTML at saka yung ating PHP. Ayan, so pag kayo ay nandyan na sa programming languages na ginagamitan ng web, na malalaman ninyo na kung paano gumawa ng isang web pages or ng buong website. And then, tab browsing allows you to open and view multiple web pages in a single web browser or windows. So yung ating tab browsing, you have to, meron siyang multiple, ayan, you can open a multiple tabs in a browser window. So meron siyang link for every browser na naka-open. Pwede kayong mag-click ng link. And then for our search engines, there are two types of search tools that are search engines and subject directories. For our search engine, it finds information related to a specific topics. And then we have the subject directory. It classifies the web pages in an organized set of categories. So pagka po tayo ay nawala na, then we will move on our second meeting kasi meron na lang tayong ilang minutes, no? Para ituloy yung ating lessons. Okay, for subject directory, it classifies web pages in an organized set of categories. And we have different search tools that we can use. Kung kanina sa TDL, meron tayong iba't ibang mga extensions na ginagamit. So dito rin meron din tayong search tool katulad ng A9. So ang mostly used search tool. Medyo merong nagpupok-pok dito kasi yung kapitbahay gumagawa ng ano. Okay. Yung ating mga well-known tool, yung katulad ng Google, ng MSN, ng Yahoo, ng Bing. So, ilan lang yan sa inyong mga search tool na ginagamit. So, yung iba, if you want to know, andyan po sa ating list. And how a search engine works. What are the different search engines? Okay, a search engine is helpful in locating items such as, so meron kasi mga search engine na mostly may mga special purposes na pwede nyong gamitin to search your, let's say, research papers. Ngayon, kung puro images, merong search engine for purely images, videos, audio, publication, maps, people or businesses, and blogs. And how to use a search engine, meron tayo itong step 4 to use a search engine. So step number 1, you have to type the search engine's web address. And then step 2, you are going to press the enter when you are going to access or display the search or the locations of your files or website that you want. And then step 3, click the Google search buttons. And then step 4, click the ASPEN or the link to display web page with the descriptions and link to, kung halimbawa ang hinahanap niya yung Aspen Snowman, dito sa example, yun ang hinahanap. And then click on that. No, sa pag-search, hindi lang po isa lang ang sinesearch. Maraming mag-appear na thousands, no, na locations on how to access. Ang first page na ibibigay sa inyo ay yung inyong exact search data. And then you can click on the other pages. Nakalagay naman sa ilalim yung 2, 3, 4, 5 hanggang dun sa pinakahuli na pages na ibibigay sa inyo. So yung iba hindi na nakakaabot ng 3. Yung iba 1 lang, ayaw na, no? Mag-iiba naman sila ng search nila. Okay, some web browsers contain an instant search box to eliminate the steps of displaying the search engine's web page prior to entering the search text. So sometimes yung iba, pwede mo ilagay sa history. Yung iba naman na meron silang parang mga guides, no, on how to access. So meron din sila mga ibinibigay na suggestions kung yun ba yung hinahanap na site. So ibibigay lang and then ang gagawin mo lang is to click on the yan, continue natin yung ating discussions with this. Yan. Sana tayo nag-stop. Parang layo Ayan, images, videos, we're finished with that. Ayan, dito na tayo sa steps on how to use a search engine. So, meron kayong 4 steps. At saka yung ating mga instant search. Meron din niya mga suggestion search. Ang gagawin nyo lang is to click on the suggestions. Next is search operators can help to refine your search. So, meron tayong mga search operators katulad ng space or plus or open and close parentheses, this period, double quotations, and asterisks. Ayan. So, nandito yung mga descriptions niyan, example, and explanation. So, if you want to use a search operator, pwede para makita ninyo yung hinahanap ninyong site. Okay, for the 13 types of websites. So meron tayong 13 types of website. We have first the portal, the news, informational, business marketing, blog, wiki, online social network, educational, and then entertainment, advocacy, web application, content aggregator, and personal. So all of that 13 website, meron lahat tayo niyan sa ating internet access, sa ating mga web browser at sa ating mga search engine. Okay, for information presented on the web, it must be evaluated for accuracy. No one oversees the content of web pages. So meron tayong mga evaluations criteria like the affiliation, what will be the reliable website, the audience, authority, content, currency, design, and objectivity. So magbibigay lang ako ng isa. The rest is self-explanatory na lang to. For the affiliation, a reputable institution should support the website without bias in the information. Pero sa nakikita natin, sometimes nasa sa atin na lang yon, no? Kung yung site pa na yon ay hindi bias. So nasa pag-iisip na lang ng tao if you are going to allow, no, the wrong information to be fed into your mind. So nasa inyo yon, alam niyo na kung ano yung tama o mali. Kasi wala pa tayong matibay na batas, no, para dito sa mga information na pumapasok via online. And for the multimedia, it refers to any application that combines text with, of course, graphics, animation, audio, video, and virtual reality. So all of that are inside a multimedia. Kaya nga kung kayo ay mag-aaral ng multimedia, I'm sure gagamit kayo ng mga multimedia applications, no? Isa na ron ay yung Photoshop for graphics, di ba? And others, ayan. So yung mga video, usong-uso ngayon yan, dahil kayo ay nagvi-video. So yung mga vlogger dyan, ewan ko kung may vlogger sa inyo. Then what is graphics? It is a digital representation of non-text information. So meron tayong mga graphics format katulad ng BMP, GIF, JPEG, PNG, NTIFF. Kasi hindi naman lahat yan. No? Sa mga website, meron lang pinipili na graphics na pwede ninyong i-upload. So ano yung pwede nyo i-upload na graphics, no? Katulad sa ating Orange Apps, meron lang siya mga graphic format na pwede. So ang gagawin nyo lang is to transfer to that format. Kung hindi ganyan ang format ng inyong graphics. And for a thumbnail is a small version of a larger graphics. So alam natin yung thumbnail na yan, makikita natin yan, kasi it represents applications, no? So ano ba yung thumbnail? So sometimes, yung mga pictures, nagiging thumbnail din yan. Then, animation. Animation is another multimedia. It is the appearance of a motion created by displaying a series of still images in sequence. So ngayon, nagtuturo ako ng animation. At ang ginagamit namin ay Adobe Animate CC. So by using a software or an application to create emotions, so pag gumamit kayo noon, you are creating an animation. And audio includes music, speech, or any other sound compressed to reduce the file size. You listen to audio on your computer using a player. Streaming is the process of transferring data in a continuous and even flow. Ayan, kayo, mahilig kayo sa music. Kaya alam nyo na yan. So we have an audio web file formats katulad ng AAC, AIFF, yung ating ASF, MP3. So yan yung mga well-known format. Yung MP3, yung WAV, So, yung dalawa na yan. So, yan yung ginagamit ninyo para kayo ay makapag-play ng mga favorite music ninyo. And how to purchase a download music using iTunes. So, yan kayo alam nyo kung saan kayo kukuha ng inyong mga sounds, ang inyong mga music. No, yung iba dyan na pumapasok sa website na open or free. So, meron tayo ditong 4 steps to purchase a download music using iTunes. So, you have to follow that. So, yung iba naman, ayaw naman sa iTunes, no? Pumupunta sa ibang site kung saan they can download a free music. And then, video consists of images displayed in motion. So, yung video natin, ang popular niyan ay ang ating YouTube. Kung kayo ay YouTuber, no, vlogger, so kaya ay kumikita na sa inyong video. And then the VR or the virtual reality is the use of computers to simulate a real or imagine environment that appears as a three-dimensional space. Yan, so meron tayong mga VR, mga avatar natin. And then a plug-in is a program that extends the capability of a web browser. So pwede tayong mag-download ng ating mga plug-in para tayo ay makapag-basa ng ating mga web equivalent programs katulad ng Acrobat, Flash Player, Java. Yan, kasi kapag yung iba, kailangan ng plug-in in order to open the file. And then the web publishing is the development and maintenance of web pages. Kasi kung ikaw ay nagpaplano na magkaroon ng sariling website or kayo ay kinuha ng isang web developer or company, yan yung susundin yung steps, no? Para kayo ay mag-publish ng inyong web. So you have to plan a website, analyze and design a website, create a website, deploy a website, and maintain a website. So sa pag-create ng website, ayan, tayo gumagawa niyan, di ba? IT. Kapag nakapag-create tayo ng website, so yung iba kasi, gumagamit ng third party to deploy a website. So ano yun? Katulad na example, yung GoDaddy, may bayad po yun. Kayo ay magpapa-deploy ng inyong website. Siyempre, magbabayad kayo ng, yung iba, annual fee. So kasi sila yung nagme-maintain ng inyong website. So with the use of that third party, pwede nang mag-maintain ng website. And then e-commerce, it is a business transaction that occurs over an electronic network. So meron din tayong m-commerce and then e-commerce. So m-commerce identifies e-commerce that takes place using a mobile devices. Kasi ngayon, katulad ngayon, puro mga m-commerce and e-commerce ang ginagawa. Parang wala na lang ang buyer eh. Puro mga seller na tayo. And then, meron tayong sinusunod, no? Kung kayo ay merong business subjects during your senior high school, na pag-aralan nyo na po itong e-commerce. Kasi meron tayong different types of that. The B2C or business to consumer, consumer to consumer or yung C2C, and business to business or yung B2B. So yung tatlo na yan, ang ating e-commerce. And then example of e-retail. So meron tayong ditong step 8 to have an e-retail. Step 1, the customer displays the e-retail's electronic storefront. And then step 2, the customer collects purchases in an electronic shopping cart. So in a shopping cart dun sa ating visual shopping cart para na rin tayo nasa shopping mall. And then the customer enters payment information. And then the bank perform the security checks and send authorization. And then the e-retailer's web server sent confirmation to the customers. Then, pinaprocess na yung order and then send it to the fulfillment center. The fulfillment center pack the orders, prepare it for shipment. And while the order travel to the customer, shipping information is posted. And then step 8, ayan na. So, makakukuha nyo na sa inyong door kung ano man yung pinurchase mo online. Parang Lazada lang yan. At saka Shopee. And then email is the transmission of messages and files via computer networks. Meron tayong email programs. Ang email programs allows you to create, send, receive, forward, store, print, and delete email messages. At ang ating mga steps on how to send email messages using the Outlook. Kasi pwede yan, no? Gagamit kayo ng inyong Outlook para direkta na yan. At the same time, mag-email na rin. And how an email message may travel from a sender to a receiver. Ayan, so step 1, using an email program, you create and send a message. Step 2, your email program contact software on your service provider para ipapasok niya. Para na rin tayo nag-access, no? Parang the same lang dun sa ating ISP. And then, mailing list is a group of email names and addresses given a single name. Meron tayong subscribe and unsubscribe. Subscribe adds your email name and address. Unsubscribing, you removes your name. Kaya kayo ay pag nag-subscribe, automatic yan. Meron kayong mga, di ba, you follow. No, meron marireceive na mga email for that subscriber. And then meron tayong IM or the instant messaging. It is a real-time internet communication service. Ayan, example of that, instant messaging, katulad ng ginagawa natin ngayon sa ating mga messenger. iChat is a real-time type conversation that takes place on a computer. So meron na tayo ngayong chat room. So yun yung bago ngayon ng ating messenger. Pwede na tayo magkaroon ng rooms for chatting. Chat room is a location on an internet server that permits user to chat with each other. So meron tayong VoIP or voice over IP, enables user to speak to other users over the internet. So ang tawag din dito ay internet telephony, katulad ng ginagawa rin natin ngayon via internet. So we are using the voice over internet. And then news group. Ito yung online area in which user have written discussions over a particular subject. So typically, it requires a newsreader. So meron doong message boarder. A message board is a web-based type of discussion group. No, so dati meron niyang Yahoo groups sa Yahoo. Then meron na rin yan sa ating mga messenger. And then we have the FTP or yung File Transfer Protocol. It is an internet standard that permits the file uploading and downloading with other computers on the internet. Many OS include FTP capabilities. An FTP server is a computer that allows user to upload and download files using the FTP. Ayan yung ating File Transfer Protocol kasi marami sa inyo ang nag-upload at maraming din sa inyo ang nagda-download. So in doing that, you have to know the netiquettes. Netiquette is the code of acceptable internet behaviors. No? Ano yung policy sa pagda-download, ano yung policy sa pag-upload. So netiquette is the golden rule. Sabi nga, treat others as you would like them to treat you. So inside the net or inside the internet, syempre meron tayo yung mga do's and don'ts. Pero it is just a guidelines. Wala pa tayong batas para doon. Meron lang tayo yung cybercrime law. Pero iba pang batas na nasa loob ay ano lang yan. Netiquette is just a guidelines. So number 1, in email, chat rooms, and news group, keep messages brief. Use proper grammar, spelling, and punctuation. Be careful when using the sarcasm and humor as it might be misinterpreted. Katulad ng bullying, di ba? Be polite, avoid offensive language. So read the message before you send it. So although meron na tayo ngayong deleting of message, pero sometimes no pagka na may mabilis na nakakabasa, alam niya na kung ano yung mga dinelete mo. And then use meaningful subject lines, avoid sending or posting flames which are abusive or insulting messages. Do not participate in flame wars which are exchanges of flames. So ibig sabihin ng flames yung mga salitang hindi nakakarapat-dapat na sabihin. And then avoid sending spam, which is the internet version of junk mail. Spam is an unsolicited email messages or a news group posting sent to many recipients or news group at once. So do not use all capital letters, which is equivalent of shouting. Diba? Sometimes kasabihin, galit ka ba? Or use emoticons to express emotions. So yung mga smiley, ayan. And then use abbreviation and acronyms for phrases. Ayan ay mga ginagawa ninyo. BTW, by the way, IMHO, in my humble opinion, FYI, for your information, TTFN, Tata for now. Ayan, so yan lang yung mga ilan sa mga abbreviated words or letters. And then clearly identify a spoiler, which is a message that reveals a solution to a game or ending to a movie or programs. No, lalo na ngayon yung coming NBA. So yung iba alam na, syempre naman no, mga spoiler, wag naman para medyo maganda pa yung panonood niya. Huwag niyo sabihin kung sino yung nanalo. Read the FAQ or the frequently asked questions. If one exists, many news group and web page have an FAQ. So ano yung mga frequently asked questions? Para hindi na paulit-ulit, no? Paulit-ulit na tinanong. How much? Katulad ng HM. No? Do not assume material is accurate or up to date. Be forgiving of other mistakes. Never read someone's private email. Yan. So yan yung ating netiquette na kailangan nating malaman para meron na tayong guidelines. So guidelines lang po yan. Nasa sa inyo yan kung gagamitin nyo, pero as much as possible, it is much better to use that netiquettes, no, for us to know kung maganda ba yung ginagawa natin or hindi na ba maganda sa mata ng tao or sa mga nakakabasa ng inyong mga messages. So be responsible enough. Sabi nga, think 1,000 times or think before you click. Yan. So, and that's the end of our last lesson. And meron tayong quiz para dyan. And be prepared for our prelim examination. So, your prelim examination is, ano bang schedule? Alam niyo na bang schedule ninyo sa inyong prelim? So, hindi pa. Para sa atin, IT 101, ang ating pong prelim exam ay sa Thursday, next week. So, 1 week pa, meron pa kayong chance to review lesson 1, 2, and 3 at 10 a.m. to 12 noon. So, 10 to 12 po ang ating examination.
Ma'am, excuse lang po, ma'am.
Okay, sige.
May tanong lang po ako. Ma'am, yung sa coverage po ng prelims namin, saan po ang start na?
Lesson 1. Di ba meron sa orange apps ninyo, meron akong ginawang folder dun, prelim folder. So lahat ng nandun sa prelim folder, kaya nga sinegregate ko para alam niyo kung ano yung i-review. So all of that. I think ang nandun lang is lesson 1, 2. So i-upload ko ngayon yung lesson 3. At itong ating recorded discussions ng lesson 3 will be uploaded in your Orange apps. I hope ino-open niyo yung Orange apps niyo, no? Para yun dun sa mga hindi nakaka-attend ng lesson 1, meron po doong recorded discussions ng lesson 1, lesson 2. At itong panibago ngayon na lesson number 3, i-upload din po ito ngayon, no? At saka yung mga quiz ninyo, yung last quiz ngayon, lesson number 2 quiz, hanggang 6. Palaging ganun po yung mahirati na kayo sa ganun gawin natin, na yung lessons or yung quiz na para dun sa lessons na yon, no, itong starting ng another lessons, at 6 p.m. dun po mag-e-end yung previous quiz para dun sa previous lessons, para hindi makagulo dun sa mga susunod na lessons. Kaya hanggang 6 p.m. yung ating quiz number 2, naka-open pa po yan. So pwede pa kayong mag-quiz ng ating lesson 2. May questions pa ba?
May question pa po ako, isa pa po.
Sige, mabasa.
Doon siya na po matanong po ako. Doon po, about po doon sa ano natin. Di po IT 101 po ito.
Yes, 101. Wala mo na magtatanong. 103 ha?
So yun nga po. Yung sa 101 po kasi namin sa lab, hindi po daw kasi nagtutugma, sabi po ni Sir. Kasi po, nagko-coding na po kami. Tapos dito daw po sa lecture, hindi pa daw po. Yun lang po yung sabi sa amin ni Sir Marmel.
Ay, ang alam ko kasi, ang programming, sige, mag-uusap na lang kami dalawa. Ha?
Pero na ano na rin pa nasabi.
Meron na ba kayong lab? May lab exam ba kayo?
Hindi pa po sure. Kasi later pa po yata namin malalaman kasi po may lab po kami 2 po yata or 1. Hindi po sure.
Okay.
Either po yata po malalaman. Pero pinasabi lang po sa amin na sabihin daw po muna namin sa inyo kasi po coding na po kasi yung ginagawa na.
Okay, sige.
Lang ba yun sa...
Pero yung ating prelim exam, ang coverage niyan, kung ano yung laman ng prelim folder. So lesson 1, 2, 3. So yun
Okay
muna
po.
ha.
Okay po, ma'am.
May question pa?
Kailan po ulit?
Kailan?
Picture.
SS.
Picture ulit? O sige, reveal your faces. Sige, picture daw
Picture daw kay
ulit.
Luigi.
Ma'am, waki ma'am.
Sandali, ano ko yung waki?
Ang bakit daw ba? Bakit?
Waki.
Wawaki ka pa?
Mamwaki ka nga, ma'am.
Waki tayo, ma'am.
Bahala
Waki. Waki.
kayo. Sige.
Para ma'am, picture tayo, ma'am. Picture.
At the
Mamaya.
Ma'am,
count
picture.
of 3,
Ah,
at the count of
Waki.
3, mag-smile na kayo ha. O magwaki kayo kung gusto ninyo.
yun. Waki.
3.
Wait lang.
Ano ba yan? 1, 2,
Wait lang.
Ma'am, waki daw, ma'am. Waki.
waki kayo, waki. Paano ba yung waki?
Bakit
Ayan,
lang,
ma'am.
bakit?
Yan, ma'am.
Yun.
Ma'am, kagat labi, ma'am.
Ano ba
ganun,
yun?
no?
Ano ba?
Ma'am, ganda. Ibis na lang.
Natatawa yung iba sa inyo, tinan mo, naka-smile,
Yung pizza lang.
Ma'am, ganun, no?
O sige. Mag-review kayo next week. Puro examination na kayo. Ang gagawin.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes,
Ang ating gagamitin for our exam.
Google Form po.
Maghintay na lang kayo ng link para doon sa... Kasi ang exam natin 10 o'clock. So mag-exam na yung link sa inyo so that you can maximize the time. So mayroon ka 2 hours, no? 10 to 12.
Oh.
Kaya huwag kayong palilate.
Nice
Huwag
one.
palilate lang. At kayo, kung may
Yes.
problem regarding poor connections, i-PM nyo kaagad ako.
Waki.
Opo, ma'am. Arigato gozaimashita. Arigato gozaimasu.
Thank you for
Deep bite.
your time.
Waki.
Bye.